My name is Danny Cisneros. In the past and even now, CDCR has only allowed debriefers and informants to speak with the media. Debriefers are inmates who have turned to CDCR for protection.
Let me make something perfectly clear too. We've addressed this many times, but this situation in particular forces me to reiterate the politics of YouTube. If you pretend that you are an active gang member and you have a channel on YouTube, you are lying to yourself and your subscribers.
These are the inmates CDCR allows to speak to the media because they can control what they say. It's quite simple. One does not bite the hand that feeds you.
Or this is what I've been told. You know what I'm saying? And this hasn't came from no one that's active. This has came from people who, like I said, you know, that they deal with gang intelligence classification. They have told me that the feds are starting to get more support in the agenda that they're pushing. So
you are not active. If you go to prison and you have a YouTube channel and you claim to be all good in your neighborhood, they're going to put something in you.
Yeah, we active. Homie, let me at this. Big 1-4, gang stopper was cracking. Silence puts work, yeah, we'll put you in the dirt. Get your whole fam in this motherfucker hurt.
I found myself sent to Pelican Bay in April of 1991 with an indeterminate shoot term due to confidential informant. Nothing more. I was classified by the administration as a alleged prison gang member. I have spent over 24 years of my life in isolation in Pelican Bay, not because I committed any rule violations, but because someone was forced to inform on their fellow prisoners in order to gain their freedom from the shoe.
Period. I don't care who you are.
The county of Riverside. Never hesitate to make the bullets fly. Certified G's who take pride in our town. Valley, an established neighborhood representing Southern Cali. Welcome to the county where the gangsters play. Riverside.
I'm Lieutenant Price, Public Information Officer at Pelican Bay State Prison, and I approve this podcast.
The only human contact you had was when you put your finger to the door and touched somebody else's finger.
Yeah, that's funny. That's why we still do that to this day on the main line.
We still do. You know, I find it ironic because they used to call us the worst of the worst, but I've never boiled a prisoner. I've never made a prisoner sleep naked in freezing temperatures. I've never tortured anybody on purpose or accidentally, and they call me the worst of the worst.
Pelican Bay Unlocked is a podcast created
White, South, North. If you have a channel and you discuss any type of gangs, you mention anything, they are going to talk to you. Straight up.
He came to me one day in my cell, and before I went up to Pelican Bay, said, you know, we ran an investigation on you, determined you're a member of the Aryan Brotherhood, and they validated me with an indeterminate shoe program, which means that I had to stay the rest of my life in the shoe until I died, because I had 65 years of life. And I was like, well, how did you determine that I was a validated gay member?
Hey, Rojo, even saying big homies, you're acknowledging that the big homies exist. Bam. You know what I'm saying? People just, shoot themselves in the foot every time.
Was there a Mexican mafia back then or not really?
It started.
It started around the time.
Yeah. Started 66, I think. But when Robot was confronted about the shoes, he killed this guy. And then that's kind of how it started, northern, the norteños and sureños.
From the...
Hey, Rojo, even saying big homies, you're acknowledging that the big homies exist. Bam. You know what I'm saying? People just, shoot themselves in the foot every time, man.
Soldiers under recognition. You the one that with the south side. Hey. Soldiers under recognition. Y'all ain't fucking with the south side. Everybody better move ese su 13. You know what we're about. Stay true to the blue. Put it down for the south.
You're hating on the baddest. Repping the south side. Your fools get no passes. I told my homies on that y'all don't trip on a small shit.
So, for us as Southerners, you can't even get into a fight with your cellie in privacy, you know what I mean? It's like you have to conduct yourself a certain way at all times, you know what I mean? And
Hey, Rojo, even saying big homies, you're acknowledging that the big homies exist. Bam. You know what I'm saying? People just, shoot themselves in the foot every time, man. Hey, bro, even saying big homies, you're acknowledging that the big homies exist. Bam. You know what I'm saying? People just, shoot themselves in the foot every time, man.
White, South, North. If you have a channel and you discuss any type of gangs, you mention anything, they are going to talk to you.
So the idea was birthed in
Chino Guiding Center. Yeah. The guy is deceased now. It was his thing. And all this other stuff, Joe Moore, he was no godfather. But anyway.
Politics way higher than your sights could ever have been set, bro.
Worms and poltroons like Powder and his entourage, who, by the way, if they keep mentioning my fucking name and their bullshit, I'm going to go ahead and put them on the stand with a subpoena. I've already spoken to my attorneys about it, and they got the subpoenas written up. So keep on talking, boy. Your ass is going to be on that stand. We're going to expose you to the world.
Let me make something perfectly clear, too. We've addressed this many times, but this situation in particular forces me to reiterate the politics of YouTube. If you pretend that you are an active gang member and you have a channel on YouTube, you are lying to yourself and
Okay, I've been down for 45 years. My name is Fatih.
What helped you endure? What got you through?
Well, I started off in shoot in 76, and at that time, the California Department of Corrections regarded black militants as threats. Revolutionary prisoners.
And I just don't like the stance that other channels are trying to trick and deceive and distort things, and that's so far from the truth. We've been accurate on 99% of what we've put out. Whether it's been debated by other channels, it's always proven to be correct in the end.
Video, man, no disrespect to Swamp Stories, man. I enjoy the content that I see. This one had so many misinformed areas, man, that you touched on, man, that it's really that bad. And the thing where I'm gonna address about this is, one thing is to make little, get your wires crossed and have sometimes a little bit of information that's not accurate. But when you have something that's totally inaccurate and that people who live that life understand and know that, it's going to make them question about the other content that you push out there. No.
Going to be more supportive. This is what I've been told. You know what I'm saying? And this hasn't came from no one that's active. This came from people who, like I said, they deal with gang intelligence classification. They have told me that the feds are starting to get more support in the agenda that they're pushing. So how that plays out, I don't know. It doesn't affect me. You know what I'm saying?
But we actually had a stay-away order because I ended up catching a brandishing a weapon charge when me and him got into it over there in a small little town, man. Something happened where he did something, and I tried to come at him. He tries to pull up a chair, and I'm trying to chase after him. So I grab a river rock, and the gang task force in Livermore jumped out on me. Detective Grajeda and some other cats. Yeah, them assholes fucking kicked me when I was down, did all kinds of faulty shit, man. Anyways, so he ends up committing a crime out there in where he got over on some female, I guess, took her for her laptop, all kinds of stuff. And in the process of this happening, this female ended up calling the cops.
If you pretend that you are an active gang member and you have a channel on YouTube, you are lying to yourself and...
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
I am one of the reps of the Pelican Bay short quarter that led the 30,000 California prisoners on a hunger strike.
And for that reason only, they're
Though you can talk and hear each other, you're not seeing each other. How easy or difficult was that to do that kind of organizing?
Well, it was difficult in the sense that CDCR was being the typical fascist obstructionists that they were. I mean, in like galvanizing outside support.
I'm talking about if you could put every emotion of the human spirit, of hopelessness, pain, agony, hatred, all these emotions in frustration, while you're locked in this cage treated like some animal.
We've politicked way higher than your sights could ever have been set, bro.
This is a behavior modification, psychological, low-intensity warfare against the mind of a human being. That's what exists here at Pelican Bay.
It's not to the point where you want to commit suicide. But sometimes I be at the point that I be wanting to write the judge, say, just give me the death penalty. Just give me the death penalty, man.
And I just don't like the stance that, you know, other channels are trying to trick and deceive and distort things, and that's so far from the
Can't
truth.
touch my mom. You know, when she comes up, it's a long drive up here. You know, I'm only seeing her once a year. For how long? She's already in her 70s. How long, is she gonna live?
I might have to die here. How do I prepare for that?
It's about our being treated like human beings. It's about our 8th Amendment and 14th Amendment rights. From the deprivation of keeping us from our families and our loved ones, harassing our males.
Of course, here in prison, we see the repression, the exploitation, the victimization of lower
In
class.
response to your question on how it's come to pass, the prisoners of different races and groups have become united in our struggle for prisoners and our outside loved ones to be treated humanely, with dignity and respect, in spite of our prisoner status. Well, we're glad you asked about this because we believe it's inclusive of a powerful symbol of the wisdom and strength similarly situated people can achieve in the face of seemingly impossible odds when they collectively unite to fight for the common good of all. It's important to put our struggle into the proper perspective. Many of us housed in the PBS2 June Shore corridor have more than 30 years in prison, most, if not all, of which has been spent in various isolation units wherein the fascist powers that be have subjected every one of us to progressively more punitive conditions wherein we have experienced and or witnessed every form of physical, psychological abuse imaginable. This applies to prisoners and our outside loved ones. As young men full of testosterone, the powers that be would regularly employ psychosocial manipulative tactics to provoke us and pit us against each other for riots and gladiator fights, while employing a no warning shot policy in response to any form of physical altercation. Between 1987 and 1995, the above factors were responsible for guards murdering 39 prisoners